everybody, welcome to another episode of Developers Digest. I'm so happy that you could join us again, and I'm also happy because my co-host Mamikee is back.
Yep, I'm happy to be here to co-host again for this month's Developer Digest. So Josh, how was your weekend?
My weekend was great. The audience may not know that in addition in America to Memorial Day, we also had what was called the SAP Mental Health Day. And that's an extra day off for everybody in the company. So globally, we all take a day off and just focus on ourselves, whatever we need to do. You can go on a holiday trip. You can actually just take some time off and do something that's a hobby. But for me, my son is actually pretty into trivia, and quiz bowl is what it's called.
Okay,
so he was
in
So he was in a quiz bowl competition that was actually a national tournament that his team from high school qualified for. So we went down to Atlanta, and he spent 2.5 days of participating in trivia competition and answering questions that I could come nowhere near answering, unless it was like 1970s rock music.
That sounds like a good way to spend a mental health day. I know for me, I just basically went on a vacation.
Where'd you go?
Time. I went to Mexico this time. So with SAP Mental Health Day, I took that time to just recoup and just recharge, and it was amazing.
Nice. Yeah, it's nice that we can focus on ourselves, and that gives us all the energy to come back and focus on you, the audience that wants to hear all about our developer content.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, we have a really jam-packed episode for you today and a really loaded agenda. Mamikee, would you mind going through the agenda for the audience?
Absolutely. So we're going to start off with the developer news. Then we're going to do a community update with Mynyna, what's up with ABAP, an extra interview with Sapphire content. Then we're going to do the infamous weather report with Josh, and then the IES tour with Anja, Rosker. And then we're going to end it off with our favorite part of the segment, the trivia questions. Well, mine.
Nice. And so speaking of trivia questions, we're going to do it different this month. We're going to actually ask the question and give you the answer at the same time.
Yep.
But first, I wanted to recap what last month's question was in the answer. So did you have a guess on what year we acquired top-tier software that became NetWeaver? It was 1999, 2000, 2001, 2002. Do you know what year?
I would say 1999, but I might be wrong. What was it?
It was 2001.
2001?
Yep, March of 2001, we actually acquired top-tier software. So that's a recap of last month's trivia question. Stay tuned till the end of the show where we have a new trivia question.
So now we're going to go into the developer news. Here's a segment on last week's episode that you might not have catched.
Developer news.
Developer news.
Developer news.
Hi everyone. This is your friendly reminder that UI5Con is happening on July 7th and 8th. This is the event for all things UI5 and where you will meet and connect with fellow developers. And it was recently announced that this year UI5Con will be a hybrid event with limited capacity on site. And registrations for the on-site part will open this Friday, June 3rd, 12 p.m. Central European Time. But don't worry, if you can't make it to Waldorf, all sessions will be streamed live. And I see you there.
Wow, that was such a great news this week. These are always really good to catch up on, especially if you want to keep updated on any of the updates, anything that's going on within SAP and just within the developer community. So I know you and Mynyna have a community update.
Correct. Yeah, Mynyna is so kind to come on and actually give us either updates on the calendar, different calls that are happening with the community, and in this case, there's a code challenge happening that she wants to clue people into because it's happening right now in the month of June. So please, check it out. Hey everybody, I'm back for this episode of the Developers Digest. It's June, and I'm joined again by one of my favorite friends and colleagues in the company, Mynyna Chau. Mynyna, welcome.
Hey Josh, good to see you again.
Good to see you too, as always. Now, you and I talk a lot offline, but I hear there's some stuff happening in the community that you really wanted everybody to know about because of what's been happening in May. So can you fill me in on what's going on and what's important to update the viewers about?
Sure. So May is all about low code, no code. That's our community spotlight, which means you will see more blog posts, videos coming from topic experts, SAP influencers, just talking about low code, no code, and most importantly, show you how you can learn more about it. And I wanted to make you aware of a challenge that's currently running, or you're invited to participate.
Okay, so what do you mean by challenge? Like, what defines a challenge?
Yeah, it's a community challenge, which means you are asked to share something about a specific topic. In this case, on a no code challenge, you are challenged to provide your experience and an app on low code, no code, on no code, and yeah, it's basically an invitation for you to start learning about SAP AppGyver. And challenge means you should be submitting a blog post that just describes the app that you're using, and then how your experience with it, just to share with other developers what you found cool, what you found less cool, in a few words, how you might use SAP AppGyver in the future. It's a great exchange with other community members that are participating in the challenge, and it's of course a fun way, and a contest where you can also win something.
Nice. Are you allowed to say what they can win?
Yeah. Definitely a badge in SAP community, but also a special hoodie.
Nice. Oof, people love swag. They love
Yeah.
they love the hoodies and the goodies.
Yeah.
So we have, as you said, so we're in June now, but May was the featured topic. You said the community was low code, no code.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
But
So
the
there's lots of
challenge is
content they can
running.
review then.
Say again.
So there's lots of content out there they can already review as they participate in the challenge.
Oh yes, definitely. There's also a 100-day journey by a developer advocate around low code, no code, really sharing his journey. 100-day
Yeah, that's my
journey
colleague,
with it.
Daniel Robleski.
So that's something you can have a look at. But yeah, the challenge is running until June 13th. So if you want to participate, of course, you need to make sure you don't miss the deadline.
Nice. And I heard you mention AppGyver. So it's AppGyver focused. Is that the tool set that people are going to be using to submit their entry?
Yes, that is correct.
So Mynyna, do you have somewhere they can go to read all the information about the challenge?
Yeah, of course. So everything around the submission deadline, how to submit, what to actually provide in your blog post, you can find in SAP community, and a link to a blog post written by Daniel Roblewski, who initiated the challenge.
Perfect. So I'll include that in the description of the video. Thank you again so much for joining me. And this is exciting. I hope a lot of people submit their entries, and are SAP employees that work on this call allowed to win the hoodie? I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I don't think so, but everyone is invited to definitely have a look. I mean, even if you don't participate, I think it's worth to see the submissions. It's already a great way to see experiences shared by other members on this topic. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't need the hoodie. It's 33 degrees Celsius here today, like 90 degrees Fahrenheit. It's too hot in Philadelphia. So I'll let someone else in a colder climate get the hoodie right now.
That's so nice of you.
I try. Thank you so much for joining, Mynyna. I really appreciate it. And hopefully in a few months we can have you back.
Yeah, looking forward to the next call with you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
That was a great community update. I really enjoyed speaking with Mynyna. But now it's time to find Mamikee. She's not here. She's upstairs for the next What's Up with ABAP segment. So let's go see what's up.
So that's right, I'm here at the SAP ABAP CodeJam here in Newtown Square. We just ended our session, and it was an amazing 6-hour session where developers like yourself were doing hands-on coding and exercises, and we gained some great insights from our host, Rich Hallman, me, and Josh Bentley as well. Now I'm going to do an interview with an attendee who attended our SAP ABAP CodeJam, and he's going to give us some great insights and takeaways that he got from the event. We're here with Ashrit, where he's one of the attendees that participated in our ABAP CodeJam, and we're going to just ask him a few questions on how he enjoyed it, what are some things that he took from this event, and yeah, Ashrit, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, my name is Ashrit, and I've been a long-time SAP user and developer. it was a fun experience. Thank you for having me, Mamikee.
Yes, absolutely. So what were some of the key takeaways that you got from the event today?
Right. So with the way the whole session was formatted or the sequence, it was very helpful to understand the background before we did a hands-on session, and that helped us get an understanding of how the RAP works and how the steampunk works, and how we could leverage it going forward.
Yep. Now, were you familiar with RAP before you came into the session this week?
Well, I did know the concept, but this is the first time I had this hands-on session, which did give me a lot more insight, and it helped gain an understanding of how things are going to shape up for the future.
Nice. And do you plan on attending more of these sessions?
Absolutely.
There we go. Thank you so much for allowing me to interview you and get a little bit of like your mindset on things. So yeah, so that is one of our attendees from the CodeJam. If you're interested in attending any of our CodeJams, look into our community group and register for it as well. Well, there it is, folks. Hope to see you in the next CodeJam event. Stay tuned for the rest of the CodeJams that we'll be having throughout the year.
That was a great segment for What's Up with ABAP. I love that CodeJams are on site again.
Yeah, finally. Now, Josh, I know that you had some interviews with experts from Sapphire speaking about BTP integration. Could you let us know a little bit about that?
For sure. We had some expert integration talks, and we also had some stuff on the new free tier. I'm going to do some interviews with that, as well as if there's anything you missed from Sapphire that's relevant for developers. We have an entire Sapphire news guide, and we had a developer news episode on May 12th that dives deep on all the Sapphire content. So check those out as well as these two interviews.
Yes, can't wait to see it.
All right, let's go. Hey everybody, I want you to say hello to my good friend, Rui Nogueira. Rui, how you doing?
I'm great, Josh. How are you?
Very good. Haven't seen you in person since TechEd last year, but I know that you've been busy since TechEd doing a lot of things with the business technology platform, and we just had Sapphire with a lot of announcements. Is there anything that you think developers need to hear about?
Yeah, I think what I actually started working on already some months ago is on an open source tool, which is available under the SAP Samples organization. It's called the BTP Setup Automator. And I've initially started this to promote better the free tier service plans. But it's as you can see, it's gotten pretty nice now in terms of providing a whole tool helping you to set up your BTP global account.
Okay, so that's in GitHub, and it's an automator anybody can go contribute to, and they can look at.
Yeah, it's inside a container image with all the command line tools that you actually need to talk to the BTP global account and sub account structures that you have. And the script actually takes a parameter file telling where to find a use case, and the use case consists of several services that you need. And then the only thing you need to do is start the script, and then it will fill your global account with all the services, including also free tier service plans that you need to run your use case.
Yeah, and so as we know, trials being discontinued and people are moving to the free tier. And so as they go in and they're setting up their free tier accounts for themselves and all their sub accounts, you're saying they can go into this tool and these JSON commands will fill in all the parameters they need. Can you show us?
Yeah. Let me just maybe show real quick. So there is a parameters JSON file, which is a little bit bigger, showing all the rich, cool stuff from the BTP Setup Automator. But what I did, I created here a very small one, showing only the region where your global account or where your sub account is to be created, the subdomain of your global account, and here I just provide single sign-on as my login method. And here I'm referring to a use case file. I call it my use case JSON. That's this one. It consists of one JSON schema, and that JSON schema helps you now to select the services for the BTP. So let's say, let's add the services, and let me just open here the problems section. And you see here, I can add now an array of services to the JSON file, and I'm already getting request to add category. So let's say we have a service of category service. And you see there is an autofill mechanism in here, which is based on the JSON schema. Then we will add now a service. Let's take maybe ABAP, right? Let's take ABAP.
Always popular.
Yes. And now we take as a plan, let's see what we have. Voila, we have the free one, which is actually then part of the free tier services. And for the same way that you have it for ABAP, you also have other services then available, right? And there is still a message here saying that we are missing some parameters. So let's add them, parameters. And there is another one saying that we need 3 additional properties. So I will just add some email, joe@sap.com, and description for the ABAP system. Let's take the default and the SAP system name. It's already pre-filled, and if you hover over, you see this is the SID of the ABAP system, and there is also some little help in case it's not formatted in the way that is needed. You will also get here an error message saying that the pattern is 1 character and then 2 numbers, right? It's also here in the help. And with that, you just can click on save. And now within the Docker container that I'm in with the BTP setup automator, I just called BTP SA, providing the parameter file that I just created, this one, my parameters.json.
Okay.
And I hit enter. And now you see it's already started working. It's asking now here for authentication via single sign-on. I click on that link. And now it's creating stuff. Let's move over here to my global account, the one that I just mentioned also in the parameters, TI cross A, and I reload. And you see
so you're jumping straight into the cockpit that you were basically
Exactly.
manipulating. Nice.
Exactly. You see here the subdomain TI cross A. You see that the sub account is being created, and once it's happening, you see it's going now to the next one to set up now the ABAP instance. So we click here on instances and subscriptions, and let's see, it's creating now the Cloud Foundry space. Again, there is the for Cloud Foundry another login mechanism. So let's go to login method basic authentication, and then I will provide my email address. Now the global account no longer needs to be created, and the sub account doesn't need to be created. And now it checks the entitlements if they are successful. Now the Cloud Foundry space is created. Let's go over here. There already, and now reloading again, and we see that the ABAP system is being created, and we can see there it is. So
Nice.
Now the creation is in progress, and if you want to do this on your own with Cloud Foundry CLI or the BTP CLI, you just can call the commands as you can see them here in the logs. So that's in essence how you can now also create more complex use cases, and in the repository you will find here quite a few, like creating a complete CAP application deployed on the BTP, or setting up an ABAP Steampunk instance, and even maybe setting up a Kima environment. So it's all there with some pre-populated use cases that developers can use so that they can be faster in deploying stuff on the BTP.
Nice. And speaking of deploying it and getting this going, do they go to your repository in GitHub that you have, or is that SAP samples? Where was it again?
So it's here under github.com. There is SAP samples BTP setup automator. We can put the link maybe later also in the notes of the video, and then you can actually just follow the instructions that you see here, how to do it. It's telling you really one by one how to download and install. There is also a nice video from one of my co-developers here for the setup automator, from Christian Lechner, helping you through any issues that you might have at the very beginning. So just can recommend to go in there.
Awesome. And if they have issues, they open an issue in GitHub, correct?
Oh, yes. And you can already see there are already issues closed and open. So this is in usage. You also can see that with 500 commits, stuff is happening over here. It's not only a 1-person or 2-person show. You can see we have contributors, 14 contributors, including a bot, which actually also checks the code quality of the tool and provides automatically some pull requests to make the code better and less vulnerable.
Nice. Awesome. Well, I know there was a lot of information to absorb. People can actually watch that video from Christian, or they can rewatch this segment to just get an idea of how to better automate their use of the BTP free tier.
Exactly.
Cool. Thank you so much, Rui. Have a good day.
Yeah, thank you too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Hello, everybody. I wanted to welcome you to another interview that relates to Sapphire. After my great conversations with Rui and what's been going on with the SAP Business Technology Platform, I noticed some Sapphire announcements that had to do with master data governance from SAP. And there's some new things with pre-built integrations that I'm hoping my guest Corrie can fill us in on. Corrie, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Awesome. Where are you based?
I am based in La Crosse, Wisconsin.
Nice. And you're focusing, I take it, on integrations for SAP?
Yeah, we have some exciting things that have come out.
Nice. Well, as I mentioned, a lot of things came out at Sapphire, and the developers sometimes don't know what to pay attention to. So what about integrations, these pre-builds, can you tell us as it relates to SAP Master Data Governance?
Yeah, so there's two new pre-built integrations that are supported through the Master Data Governance, and I'm just going to shorten it and say MDG because it's a mouthful. So the first one is within the Cloud Edition of MDG, and it is a pre-built integration to Europe's largest data sharing community. That community is called CDQ, which stands for Corporate Data Quality. So this data provider integration is really, it's an extension to the data quality management capabilities of the MDG Cloud Edition. So the initial release, it includes the ability to create a business partner, the master data from the reference data provided by CDQ by simply just searching on the organization name and the region. We're definitely going to have additional use cases implemented on this integration and future releases of the Cloud Edition, as well as MDG on-premise through S/4HANA, also available in the private cloud. So that's the first one. And then the second one is we also have enhanced MDG to include an out-of-the-box integration to our SAP Data Quality Management microservices for location data. So this includes support for international address cleansing and enrichment during the master data consolidation process. And so those are the integrations, but it's kind of like, well, why are they important? Well, so creating master data, it can be really tedious. Manually creating it can be very tedious and error prone. There's lots of information that needs to be gathered, it needs to be verified, it needs to be typed into the application. And this includes data like to identify a company, like the legal name, the registered address, and there's all sorts of identification numbers that are important, like tax jurisdiction numbers as an example. So all this master data is used by various processes and applications within the business to comply with the various like legal and even fiscal regulations. So any mistakes in that data can really lead to some severe problems, either from a process perspective, like slow that down, break it, or compliance issues. So what these data provider integrations do is they leverage reference data. So we also call that like truth data. And this is data that's available from public sources, public authorities. There's open source data sources. And then there's some commercial providers. DMB is a perfect example of that. So the reference data is ultimately, it's used to automate that master data process, automatically filling in the data, the business partner data attributes with validated and trusted data, leading to shorter processing times, less manual work, and then ultimately it's all about the quality, all about data quality.
Awesome. So we like to say that with BTP, we're trying to keep the core clean. And this sounds like a way to, when you start with your MDG process, to keep your data clean.
Yeah, it's like just like an easy win.
Yeah,
easy
very
way to
nice.
get started. Yeah.
So speaking of getting started, how do developers get started with this?
So the integration itself to these data providers, it's included as a part of Master Data Governance, SAP MDG, out of the box. So all customers can benefit from the features like right now. But you do need additionally a contract from CDQ for accessing their API and their services. or alternatively, you have to have a subscription to the SAP Data Quality Management Microservices, and that's available through the SAP Business Technology Platform. But from there, there's some very straightforward technical configuration. For example, the integration with CDQ services, it's provided as a communication scenario within the MDG Cloud Edition. So all you need for configuration is to create a communication arrangement for the scenario using your access credentials from your subscribed CDQ workspace. And then after that technical integration set up, then all you have to do is make the service accessible to the certain roles and users that you want them enabled for within the MDG UI display configuration settings. And that's it. Then you're ready to go. And ultimately, it's about speeding up that master data processing and increasing that data quality.
Very nice. Do you guys have a community page or a landing page for this product?
We do. So look for Master Data Governance Community. We have a dedicated spot there, and there's lots of information about the CDQ integration in particular. There's an upcoming webinar on June 20th that has a link for registering for that if you want more information.
Nice. So I'll include links to that in the description of this video and the other information that came out from Sapphire. There were so many links that we mentioned. There's a ton of information we also had in our developer news that I talked about at the end of, the May 12th, I think was the week that it came out. So anyway, lots of information came out from Sapphire. This was a really nice topic for developers that I can't thank you enough for helping me focus on. Good to meet you and good to talk to you, Corrie.
Thanks, Josh.
Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for those great Sapphire interviews, Josh. But can you also give us an update on the weather?
It's hot.
Great weather report as always. Now I'm going to go meet Josh for our next segment in Newtown Square, Building 2. As you can see, we're now here at NSQ2 in Newtown Square, where Josh and Anja go over a tour of the IES showroom. Josh, can you tell us about the showroom and how Anja and her team contributed to this?
Happy to. So Anja Rosker is the global lead of the IES showroom, and her team have brought what was in Waldorf over here to Newtown Square. It's a physical showroom that me and Anja go on a tour of. Come join me.
Let's go.
Hey everybody, it's Josh Bentley, and I am joined in this episode of Developers Digest by a special guest all the way from Waldorf, Germany. It's the global lead of the IES showroom, Anja Rosker. Anja, what is this thing that you and the team have been building, and how can people take advantage of it?
Well, this is the IES Showroom Newtown Square. We just opened in May, and this is a multimedia experience area where you can get all the information about our tools, our applications. We support you in choosing the next device you want to order. So it's all about that, and you can explore that by yourself on each and every station. Or if you don't want to do that by yourself, you also can book a guided tour for the entire team. And we also offer a lot of onboarding sessions for new colleagues to give them an idea about what is it all about and what IES is staying for and what we do.
So if I'm a new employee, I'm a new developer that's starting my journey with SAP, I come in and I can touch the hardware and software that I'm going to be using in my daily life.
That's right, but that's not all. You can also explore topics like, what is the business technology platform? What does it mean? How does that all fit together? So yeah, we have much more into it. So it's a real invitation to check out all those 8 stations, because there is a lot of content and a lot of information in there.
Awesome. I think it's very important that the community and developer advocates, that we get to experience this as well and tell people about it. Are we featured anywhere here? On
Station 8 about the future of work. And of course, no one really knows how the future of work might look like and how the future will be. But one, it's clear. I mean, we have a lot of computers, we have a lot of automation, but the really important thing is the people. You can't just get rid of them. They are important. And we need to invest into the people. So it's cool to have cool apps, cool devices, but you need people who are able to build them. And the future will even be more digital and will probably bring a lot of more innovations we need to be ready for. And therefore, we need to invest into the people. And the best way to do that is learning and training. And I think you are somehow connected to that area at SAP.
Yeah, my team is part of the learning organization at SAP.
Right.
And we do a lot of events from time to time and tell people about what we're doing from an SAP internal standpoint to make our code, and then we take customer feedback and bring it back in. And you're giving tours here to employees and customers, right?
Yes.
And, and they'll see all that we have to offer from SAP, but what else would they see about learning?
Well, first of all, this showroom was built and created for the employees to make sure that you're getting an introduction to all those tools to be ready for your work life, to be focused on the rest of your real work. And then we realized that it might be quite interesting for customers to understand how SAP runs SAP, to get an inside view into the heart of the IT. So that is really cool. So yes, customers and partners are invited to join us. Of course, then they need a guided tour, which you can book easily, also in Waldorf. And you talked about events and learning, and of course we have that already in here. So this might be your station, Josh,
nice.
Because there you can get the information about what kind of training, what kind of learning SAP is offering. And one way to learn in an interactively way is to join other people, meet them, even in a digital way. So we need events. And there was one event you invited me to join last year, was the Devtoberfest. And at the beginning I was a little bit surprised, as I'm not a developer and probably never will become one. But I joined because of the competition, honestly, and I wanted to get all the points and as much as possible. So I really was walking and working myself through a lot of tutorials. And honestly, I didn't understand everything, but I learned a lot about the connection of BTP, all the functionality, pre-built tools you can use there. And I was able to build an application at the end because I was reading the instructions. But that was really cool to get a better understanding and to get into the content. And it was, I would probably never have done that. So I'm really, really happy and thankful for this event because it was easy to join and also get support in the community. So yeah, you have to be part of that. That's really important and really helpful and a lot of fun.
No, so super proud of you. You did a great job. I know you got some prizes and a t-shirt, and we're proud of anybody who participated and helped make Devtoberfest a success. So we thank you for doing it. We thank you for doing it. And thank you for having us as part of the station. So when people come and book a tour, they can see what's happening in the SAP Learning Organization as part of their employee life cycle, and to kind of brag about what we're doing to the customers who come and take a tour.
Sure, okay. That's the idea. So there are two things. Will there be another Devtoberfest?
Yes, there will be. Look for it this fall.
Okay, can't wait for it. So you have to join that. As soon as there comes an invite, just do it because it's really a lot of fun. And I will be there and mess up with all the tutorials probably.
All good.
And the other ask would be just come and join the showroom by yourself or book a guided tour. We have that available here in Newtown Square, but also in Waldorf. We are planning one for Bangalore. And also we have a digital showroom where you can book guided tours. And on Sapphire, we were talking about the virtual way, so where you can really go into the virtual reality and be there and have a guided tour there. So there's a lot of stuff coming up.
Nice.
You have to do all of that.
Nice. Thank you so much for everything you just shared, and I hope the audience enjoyed that and will take part in the new IES showroom in Newtown Square. Thanks.
Bye.
Trivia.
So as you can see, I am now in Building 1 of Newtown Square in the SAP Experience Center. So for this month's trivia question, I'm going to give you the question and the answer right now. We had another building that was built in 2017 to 2018. It opened in early 2019. It's about 15,000 square meters. It holds 700 employees. And this building is located in Germany in Waldorf. Do you know what number this building is? I'll give you 5 seconds to say your loud answer. That's right, Building 49. Hopefully you enjoyed that, and we'll have another trivia question next month. Bye.
Wow, that was such a great trivia question for this month. I'm really happy that we're able to film across this building today in Newtown Square. Josh, what was your favorite part about it?
My favorite part, honestly, was getting to not only film in different buildings in different places, but to be back in front of the green wall, as we call it. It's actually a bio wall. I didn't know it was alive last time we filmed. I thought it was made out of plastic. But
oh, wow.
Yeah, no, it's super sustainable. So they spray it with water, and it's putting out oxygen into the air.
Yep. What a great way for SAP doing sustainability right here in Newtown Square.
Exactly. And what a great guy I am that I didn't even know it was alive.
Nice. So we'll see you guys back again.
Yep.
Right?
See you on the next episode. Thanks.
Bye. Take 1,000 as Josh gets more annoyed.
I'm not annoyed at all. It's just, I hate it for you that it's so easy for me.